Welcome to another edition of the Twin Cities Real Estate Pros podcast. My name is Ron Johnson, licensed real estate agent with RE/MAX Advantage Plus, joined as always by David Nelson, who is also a licensed real estate agent with RE/MAX Advantage Plus. The man over there to my far left is Kevin Cox with the Kevin Cox Agency. We're going to talk about insurance, homeowners insurance, when you need it, why you need it, the different types of coverage, and how important that is in the home buying process, and how sometimes it kind of gets lost a little bit, but the importance of that. So Kevin's going to let us know all about that. So we appreciate Kevin for that. Kind of give you a general rundown of the show. We are here at our Lakeville office. We cover Twin Cities real estate, though, throughout the Twin Cities area. And we will talk about some of the listings that we have on the market, some of the listings that we have coming on the market, also talk about some buyer needs that we have. And we also try to provide value with folks like Kevin, who can help people with the home buying process and what you need to know about home buying, home selling, and home ownership. And we are multimedia. We are all over the place. We are live on our Imperial Home Team page on Facebook over there, my business page over here on Facebook as well. We'll have an audio version for you on SoundCloud that you'll be able to download from our website, TwinCitiesRealEstatePros.com. We'll also be on YouTube, and then we throw it out there on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and everywhere else as well.
Anywhere that someone will take it.
anywhere you can see it or hear it. We're here to provide value to our clients as a way to promote their listings, and also to people in general, potential clients who are looking to buy or sell their homes. So, and we got something special today too. We'll talk about a little later, Dave. We've got some tickets to give away.
Yeah, top secret tickets.
Top secret tickets. We'll tell you how you can win some tickets to a local sporting event here in the Twin Cities. We're going to do that a couple of times this year as well, so stay tuned for that. Anything to get people to tune in.
Anything we possibly can, and just to spread the knowledge wealth across the interweb.
There you go.
That's what we want to do.
All right, so what do you got going on the market, David?
I'm down to one property that's doesn't have an offer on. We just reduced the price last week to $364,000. 360.
Like $3 million.
Yeah, it's very expensive. 364,000 and 3 zeros. So it's a detached townhome in the Wilds. 4 bedrooms, 3 bath. It's got a beautiful. It's loaded. It's got hardwood floors. It's got the solar tubes, and the washer and dryer high end. The homeowners they've used this home as kind of like a long-term stay when they come in for business. So in the last 2 years, they probably have lived in a total of 2 months. So it's very minimally used. Washer and dryer have been used 12 times possibly. So everything is pretty much brand new. So again, this address is 2637 Wilds Lane Northwest in Prior Lake at 364. It was a former detached model home there, and love to get you in it. Contact me 612-986-4670 or email david@imperialhometeam.com.
All right, perfect.
That's it.
There you go. Just one left.
And I met with someone this morning. Can't tell what, but it's going to be a 3-bedroom, 4-bathroom townhome, and this one has features that no other one in the neighborhood has. So it's an absolutely ridiculous updated townhome. Probably coming in around $280.
Lakeville as well?
Lakeville as well, yep.
Okay. So is that in your neighborhood?
It is.
Okay, perfect.
On a cul-de-sac, wooded views, biggest deck in the neighborhood. So a lot of things you're not going to find anywhere else.
All right, perfect. So you can look forward to seeing that one soon on Zillow, I'm assuming?
It will be. We have to get the paperwork signed.
Sure.
All the good logistics of it, but it's going to happen.
Okay. We go to jail if we talk about houses that we don't actually have under contract. So that's
okay.
I'll keep that in mind.
Not the nice jail either. It's the bad jail.
Yeah, the bad jail. I've got down to two active listings for me on the market. One that just came on Friday, 3531 2.5 Street Northeast. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, single-family home. There is the potential to add. There's a lovely finished room in the basement. Just needs an egress window. It's got a closet, a legit closet in there, so you could easily add a 3rd bedroom. There's also a section you could add another bathroom. So that one came on the market on Friday at $169,900. So that one is out there on any of our websites. You can find that TwinCitiesRealEstatePros.com, otherwise ron.imperialhometeam.com and ronjohnsonsellshomes.com. So you can find that anywhere there, otherwise in your MLS search you can find it there as well. Pretty excited about that one. So really it's it's updated throughout. It's got new siding. It's got new roof. It's got a newer garage. It's got a 2+ car garage and then spots for 4 other off-street parking spots in the alley style garage. So you could actually park 6 cars there if you got some toys, your boat or your bike or your kayak or whatever.
All your kids.
Your kid, you could throw your kids out there, but it's a gigantic garage.
I wouldn't recommend throwing kids out there, but
and the home was built in 1943. The garage is about 10 years old, but there was some hail damage, so it's that's part of why we have Kevin here. He can tell you the benefits of the hail for your neighborhood. If you're going to
of all those details, I heard updated roof, and that's the biggest.
Rough hail damage.
Exactly. Yeah, it's got new carpet throughout. It's got new paint. The bathroom has been updated. The kitchen has been updated. It actually has a nice pantry in the kitchen, which is hard to find in that style home. So that one's on at 169.9. Again, the address 3531 2.5 Street Northeast in Northeast Minneapolis. Another one I've had on the market for a few weeks now is in Hopkins, 341 Herman Terrace. That one, we just reduced the price last week on Friday as well to $299.9.
Wow, great price.
We've had a ton of action coming through there. So hopefully we get somebody to pull the trigger here soon. But it's in the Hopkins School District, also transportation access to the Chinese immersion school. And then there is a nearby Spanish immersion school, so options there for education. This second owners of this house that was built in 1953. The current sellers have been there about 7 or 8 years. So you can do the math on what 1953 is to 7 or 8 years ago, about a long time. And they really took care of the previous people really took care of the home. My current sellers have done some updates as well. They had new siding, new roof. There is a 2-car attached garage, which is very rare for that area of Hopkins. You'll see some 1-car attached garages or some 2-car detached. So they've got a 2-car attached garage. There's also a workshop / garage out back that's split into 2 different rooms. It's insulated. It has electricity back there as well. So you could use that the current people use it as an exercise room. They had a winter trainer bike out there. You could use it as an office if you wanted to, or storage, or whatever you want. That one has 3 bedrooms, all on the same level. And it has a master bathroom, which again, for that era of Hopkins homes is unique. It's got a really open plan on the main level. And a really flat, big, huge backyard. The basement, you could add a bedroom if you wanted to make it 4 bedrooms. 3 bathrooms is, again, rare. So a lot of features of this place are really rare for the age of the home and where it is in Hopkins. Dropped the price from $299.9. Originally, it was listed at $324.9. So when we talk about motivated sellers, that's a kind of a hint that the sellers are really motivated. Now, you walked through that house,
I did.
David.
And it was surprising that you walk in the front door, and from the outside it looks smaller. When you walk in, it has a very big. It feels a lot bigger than it really is. And I think the basement is kind of the hidden treasure, as well as that other garage. But the basement you can do so much with. You can, it's actually plumbed for a wet bar. There's things down there that they were pretty ahead of the game when they built this house. That you could turn it into a really nice family entertainment gathering house.
Yep. So a ton of potential down there. A lot of usable space. It's 2,127 square feet finished. So again, a great value, under $300,000 now. So that one has been on the market a couple of weeks. 341 Herman Terrace in Hopkins. Again, that one's going to be all on our websites, or go ahead and contact us one way or another through one of the various channels, and we can get you out there to look at that. I've got one coming on that I don't have signed yet, but we've got a bunch of stuff this week, and I met with the guy a couple of weeks ago. It's going to be. It's not going to be. It actually is still in New Hope. It's in New Hope. It's off of 27. It's going to be on Decatur Circle. We haven't set the price yet because when I met with the seller originally, he said, "Okay, he'll tell me some ideas." We gave him a bunch of ideas. He goes, "All right, let me see what I can do." And he called me yesterday. He goes, "All right, come back over the end of the week and we'll see where we are." So it'll be in the mid-2s somewhere, just depending on some of the updates that he did. And I know he redid the kitchen and a couple other things, so we're going to go. That's why I can't really set a price yet because I haven't seen it the second time. But somewhere in the mid-2s, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. It's a really big yard, a nice deck. So that will be coming on in the mid-2s somewhere, and the goal is to get it listed on Friday. So we most likely won't have it available on Zillow because we won't have time to do that. Otherwise, we would love to pre-list this house. But somewhere in the mid-2s, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths in New Hope. Get a hold of me again. 612-817-5657 is my phone number. Otherwise, Ron Johnson Real Estate at gmail.com. is the email address.
And you kind of alluded to something pretty important. You're talking about, you really can't set the price until they've done some work to the house. So there's that tendency for people to look on Zillow and they see their estimate and they think that's the all-encompassing price. But until a trained eye like us real estate agents actually come in your house, it's the real price is just an arbitrary number until we can look at it. Because again, you look at your condition, any updates, any downgrades. Does your yard look like crap and stuff like that? So, and some yards do.
He looks at Kevin and says that.
Kevin's yard looks like crap.
Guilty.
I don't know where you live in Blaine, but I'm sure it's crap. No, I was kidding. So, but that's the important. So, like you said too, you can't say a price because you haven't been in the house yet.
Right.
So, if you're looking for an actual price of your house, you can look online all you want, but until one of us actually comes in there and gives you a real idea, we'll give you the real price or estimated price.
Exactly. Yeah. And the same thing too. The tax assessor generally doesn't step in your house either. So looking at the tax assessed value isn't always a good indicator, or this estimate. So you've got to get somebody to come in there and look at what your kitchen looks like or whatever.
Well, their taxes. So we know our taxes for 2017. Well, that's months out in the market. How do they know what the value of the home is going to be next year? They don't. They just slap a number on it, and until someone actually goes in, walks around, takes notes, takes pictures, looks at it. That's going to be your true value.
Yep. So we'll have that one coming on in New Hope. I believe the goal is to get it on Friday. I've got to get back out there, and we've got pictures and a couple other things to get done very quickly. But I can pull that off because we do a pretty good job on our team with getting those things pulled off. So
can I add something to the Hopkins home?
Yeah.
That area has got some nice restaurants and theaters popping up. I took my kids to a children's theater, and it was a great time. Some really nice new theaters and restaurants that are popping up. It's a real nice area too.
Yeah, and Hopkins is a really interesting because it's close enough to where you're not far. If you work downtown or work right around there, you can get to downtown easily. You can't afford to get into St. Louis Edina, so you try to go to St. Louis Park where you can't afford either. You can't afford Minnetonka, and you can get into Hopkins and still have some affordable homes, maybe even a little bigger than where you're going to get in some of those other cities. And Hopkins schools, they've won awards and have good ratings. And like I said, there's a couple other options there too with the Chinese immersion school, which is becoming really popular, and the Spanish immersion school, which is becoming really popular. This place had right around the corner there are walking trails. That will hook you up to the Loose Line, which eventually, if you stay on it long enough, you can get all the way to Minneapolis. And you can go all the way out west as well. So there's walking trails, bike trails, all this stuff. Downtown Hopkins is kind of becoming where the cool kids hang out.
Sure.
So you've got that going on too. And again, it's located in a really good area as far as location and convenience to 169 or 100 or getting downtown or the western suburbs where a lot of the jobs are, things like that. So.
I've been spending a lot of time in Hopkins. My girlfriend lives we went to your open house 5 minutes away, and I didn't realize how cool downtown Hopkins is. I mean, some of the great restaurants are down there, and they have a comedy club now. They have a brewery, and then you're within 10 minutes of West End if you want to go there, if you want to go uptown, and so it's a great location for a great price.
Yep. Yeah. So under 300, that one is 341 Herman Terrace in Hopkins. All right, so now we still have Kevin Cox here. He's from Kevin Cox Agency, insurance agents. Kevin and I have known each other for a long time. We actually went to insurance school or training with you a very long time ago, and I know you went to St. Cloud State. I don't think we went there at the same time, but anyway, I just wanted to put that out there.
2003, I graduated.
Oh, yeah, see, I was well gone by then. I like people from St. Cloud State on the show. But so you are now independent agents,
yes.
And we're going to talk about homeowners insurance.
Okay.
But before we get into that, you said you have a real personal story about your home buying experience in relation to homeowners insurance.
Yeah, I like to. I work with a lot of home buyers, so kind of tie into what you guys are doing. My own personal home buying experience, my wife and I bought a home about 10 years ago. This was before I got into the insurance industry. I had absolutely no idea the process or what I needed to do or how anything worked for homeowners insurance. I had a good experience with the realtor and the loan officer. They asked me to gather information. We got them everything they wanted. Somehow the home insurance piece just kind of either got overlooked or skipped, but my wife had to produce a homeowner's insurance binder, and the guy wanted it by like 5 p.m. that day, and it was noon. And so my wife was 9 months pregnant at the time, left her work, went to some random office and knocked on the door, said, I need this by 5. Fortunately, they were able to help us out. So I like to use my own personal experience to help other people kind of avoid that situation. Really work through those situations, make sure they know what's going on, and help them out that way.
Can we kind of assume that maybe the stress level was a little high that
no
day?
question about it.
Yeah.
I think my wife was due in a week or two, plus we were trying to buy a home at the same time. We actually moved in a day or two after my first daughter was born, so we tried to, we probably bit off a little bit more than we can chew. But
Well, you had an extra hand then to help you move, though.
All
So
right.
there was that. So that helped.
Hold that.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, though, going through that experience, essentially you need to have this binder in the next 4 hours or 5 hours. So you didn't really get an opportunity to sit down with your agent and understand what it was that you were buying.
Exactly. So my goal is to make sure that you know what you're doing, you know what you're getting into, you know the whole process, and make sure that those documents are prepared well before they're needed.
We were talking about a tax value and estimates and values like that. That's another thing that I think confuses some people too. Is your home price, what you paid for your house, has very little, if not nothing, to do with your actual rebuild cost.
That's
your insurance
exactly
coverage
correct.
cost.
That's correct. We basically have a system where we enter things like square footage, number of garage stalls, bathrooms, finished basement, things like that, and it kicks out a number that we have to use, and that may be higher or lower than the actual value of the market value of the property. So that's how we come up with the dwelling replacement cost.
Because you're not trying to buy somebody a new house if it gets knocked down, right? You're just trying to build it back up to similar to what they had.
We're concerned with the price of the building materials and the cost of the labor. We're not concerned with the land, because the land is still going to be there unless there's some nuclear strike or something like that.
Sinkhole.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Right, which I'm guessing you don't have nuclear coverage. You don't offer that yet.
You may want to. I don't know.
It might be in the policy. I don't think that's
Pretty
covered.
soon.
Are we in a nuclear zone? You are. You need nuclear coverage.
Yeah, so there's that's a little rider that you can get on your insurance
Yes.
policy. So I guess take us through when somebody sits down, and, so say I'm a first time home buyer, and say, all right, Kevin, I need homeowners insurance. I've got this house. It's whatever. I live in Golden Valley, $200,000 house. We've got 3 beds, 2 baths.
Sure.
What do I need?
Basically, one of the big advantages that I can do that a captive agent can't is I can quote from many different companies instead of just one. That allows me to really put together excellent coverage and also offer the best value in terms of rates. And so we can kind of customize the plan to fit your specific needs. Because the bottom line on the premium isn't always the best thing. I've seen a lot of things from second deductibles on wind hail that are much higher than the deductible for everything else. You might end up with a $5,000 or $10,000 deductible on the wind hail if you have a hailstorm. I don't do anything like that. So I really sit the client down. We quote from many companies. I show them the best coverage for the best price, and know that they are going to be put into an excellent coverage, policy coverage wise.
Can you get more into the details there? So let's say I have a $1,500 deductible just overall, and I get some damage. I need new siding from hail. So you're saying I pay the $1,500 plus I pay the 2% or whatever it is additional?
Well, if my clients would just pay the $1,500 because I don't do second deductibles at all. But I have seen other policies come across my desk where they have a percentage deductible of the overall dwelling cost. So let's say you have a dwelling replacement of $500,000 and a 2% deductible. You now have a $10,000 deductible. You have a $1,500 deductible if anything else happens except a windstorm or a hailstorm. In that case, you would have a $10,000 deductible if you had the 2% on a $500,000 dwelling coverage.
Which happens a lot in Minnesota, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that's why there are separate deductibles, because we do get nailed with wind and hail all the time. But my clients would just have the straight deductible.
Yeah, real life example. Last week, a client of mine, seller, just got a new roof because of the windstorm that came through. I think it was around June or July, and lifted up a lot of her shingles and hail damage. And thank God for insurance, because she got a $20,000 roof for her deductible.
Absolutely. Another thing that you might run across is replacement coverage versus actual cash value. I don't write actual cash value policies at all. In terms of like roof replacement, actual cash value means that the claims adjuster is going to come in, assess the life expectancy of the roof. Let's say it's going to be 30 years. It's 15 years old. It costs $20,000 to replace. Well, you're going to get a check for $10,000 because it's halfway into its life expectancy. I don't do anything with actual cash value. It's going to be a replacement. You're going to get a new roof.
And those are terms used with personal property as well, right? If your
right.
television costs $2,000,
That's correct.
You don't figure out, okay, well now it's worth $700 or whatever it is,
Yep.
right? So that with personal property, it's important to understand what's being covered there too.
Absolutely. And you can find actual cash value for personal property as well. Again, I don't write those policies, but they will come in, assign a value to a life expectancy value to all your items. If your TV has a life expectancy of 10 years and it's over 10 years old, you would get nothing for that item in the event of a total loss.
And something else we'll run into too, like David's got a couple of townhomes coming on with, when you have associations. Mm-hmm. So what's important is for the buyer to understand which are impossible to understand, their homeowner's insurance policy through the association.
Correct.
What that covers and what it does not cover, and then where you come in and what you cover with condos and townhouses.
That's right. You'll want to look at the association bylaws, and that will spell out what they cover, what they don't cover. Most of the time, you're required to carry an HO6 policy, which covers what we call walls in, so the internal flooring coverings, things like that. Every once in a while, you'll come across an association policy that will cover everything. I've seen a couple, but you really want to read your association bylaws to make sure that you know what's covered. And I have offered many times to read those for the client to make sure that we get the right coverage.
And those will cover, when you say walls into, that covers your stuff too, right? Very similar to your
Absolutely.
policy.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
people
Contents, you'll get some contents coverage, you'll get liability coverage, and some fixtures, flooring, things like that.
So when us as agents, as we're having people go looking at houses, and we remind them, like, yes, you're getting a townhouse, you're going to probably have cheaper homeowners insurance. You will have, but it's kind of factored into your monthly association due. As you buy a single family home, your homeowners insurance is going to cost more because you're covering everything.
Right.
So it's our job too when you're going through looking, what's the difference between, you just don't pay an association cost a month. What does that cover? And again, we break it down and help our clients. Like, the insurance will cover this. You get your lawn coverage, your snow removal covered. And if you were going to have your own house, this is the cost of that. So it's a good cost analysis. Just because you have an association do it doesn't mean it's a huge expense to you, because it could be actually saving you money in the long run.
Right. And also too, the way it's displayed sometimes on listings can be different with some associations. Like some associations will lump it in, and your association fees are $356 a month. Mm-hmm. But then you'll see a yearly or quarterly insurance fee too.
Correct.
And I think, I'm probably guilty of it as well. Sometimes you miss that. You just look for the association fee, and it's this. But then the way they do a line item is there's another fee there for insurance too. So this has nothing to do with you. We're going to have a private conversation.
Yeah. So,
but
talk
that's our job too, to make sure that we're pointing out, okay, well, your association fee is this, but they actually charge the insurance outside of that, and it's two different items on the MLS.
Good point.
Listing.
So your association generally will cover the exterior, the walls, the exterior walls, and the roof. But typically we'll have something like a $10,000 deductible, and you'll want to make sure your loss assessment coverage on your HO6 policy is at least as much as their deductible. So if it's $10,000, I've seen higher deductibles. I've seen $20,000, $30,000. So just make sure the loss assessment coverage is at least as much as the deductible on the master association policy.
Another term you use too is liability. And I always like to use the example: you have a friend over, friend has too many soda pops, and then falls down and does something to himself, out on your sidewalk or whatever it is. You have a rental property and they throw a party, or all these other doomsday scenarios, or just living your life and you slip on the ice or something like
Absolutely.
that. So that's when your liability coverage is going to come in, and you want to make sure that that's pretty solid.
Yeah, pretty much anything that happens on your property, you could be held accountable for. So we like to put together a good liability, coverage, $300,000 minimum, sometimes $500,000. But we also recommend umbrella policies. You can get an extra $1 million for a couple $100 a year. So it's important to load up and make sure that you cover yourself liability wise.
And we have a question
Okay.
through our Facebook Live.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, so get ready.
We need to get a
All right, let's see if I got.
Yeah, we need like a ding or
we'll get
a flag.
Can you just do a ding?
Ding.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, this just came in.
There we go.
Scott asks, does it hurt his credit score by shopping around for insurance?
Absolutely not. Insurance companies will somehow use credit to determine pricing, but they will never pull up. They'll never. You'll never see your insurance agency as a hard inquiry on your credit. It'll never show up, and it'll never hurt your credit.
Perfect.
You can shop all you want.
Which is what you'll do for
Absolutely.
somebody.
So I have up to 10 different carriers, so I'll do all the shopping and present the best offer.
Okay. And then obviously when somebody's looking at their home to get insurance on, I'm sure you would love to look at their total package too, right? To
Absolutely.
make sure that other things, if you go and get into a wreck with somebody and you don't have good liability coverage on your auto policy, now guess what? Your home is in jeopardy, potentially.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but definitely you want a good liability policy all the way around, home, auto. You definitely could exceed your auto liability limits. I've seen some pretty low limits. The state minimum is $30,000. If you injured somebody, that would probably get used up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And you're on the hook for anything above and beyond that. You could have lost wages and things like that. So I don't know if your homeowner's insurance would kick in after that, but I think
I was saying your mortgage payment that you're going to make.
Okay.
Because now you got sued because you don't have enough
Well,
coverage
sure,
on your auto
sure.
insurance.
Right.
So all your other assets
Absolutely.
are in trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's very vital to have good liability coverage. And another thing, coming down from being able to quote from many different companies, I can load up that liability coverage and still get excellent rates doing that. So when you do combine home and auto, you do get some good multi-policy discounts. It can be up to, one company I work with is 30%. So
Wow.
some substantial discounts when you combine home and auto.
And even too, I'm renting, and I got renter's insurance. It was actually cheaper for me to have my car and renter's insurance than just my car.
Absolutely, that's a
I'm like,
good.
whoa, why wouldn't I?
Absolutely, yep. That's a good talking point. I always bring that up.
Thank you.
Most often, if you are a renter, you can get both policies for less than just auto insurance.
Yeah, they're like, hey, did you know you can get renter's insurance and your cost will actually go down?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, sign me up.
Yeah, why don't we do
The
that?
multi-policy discount is greater than the cost of the renter's insurance
Yeah.
itself.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, because renter's insurance is relatively inexpensive.
Yeah,
but it's
$10, $20 a month, depending on what you
Yep.
get.
Yep. And if you got your computers and TVs and toys and all that
Star
kind of
Wars
stuff.
stuff.
Is that it? Do you have a Star Wars policy?
If you have some collectibles, we can look at that.
Okay. No, I meant
Cover
Star
that.
Wars policy. Like, do you have actual policy?
No, I
Death
don't.
Star package or anything?
No,
like that?
It covers anything that has Alderaan. Like, you
the
planet
Death
blows
Star
up.
package.
That's right.
You should work on that. You could patent that.
That's a great idea, Ron.
Yeah. David's a big Star Wars
Okay.
fan. So
You guys have the Death Star package?
I do not.
Okay.
But if you guys can work it out, we'll start pushing that. as
Since
well.
you have the ability to put your fingers out of the multiple
Sure.
opportunities, see what you can do.
Okay.
So tell us how we find you, and if somebody wants to either take a look at their current home situation, or if they are in the market for buying a house and they want to sit down with somebody who's going to really help them out.
Absolutely. You can find me on the internet, kevincoxagency.com, and my email address is kevin@kevincoxagency.com, and you can reach me the old-fashioned way over the telephone, 612-568-3770.
And your office is in Coon Rapids?
Coon Rapids.
Okay, and we are in Lakeville.
Yes.
So if there's any question about, well, this guy's too far, you just drove however far that is to be on our podcast.
Yep.
And we appreciate it. Thank you.
So we do appreciate that.
With modern technology, I have clients up in Brainerd, Duluth, all over Minnesota. So location doesn't matter these
It's
days.
no offense to our friends in Brainerd, but it's funny that you said modern technology in the next word was Brainerd, but whatever. But no, point is that you can reach people
Sure.
all over.
Well, I was born in Brainerd, so you
Okay.
can.
Were you?
Yeah, just offended you. I'm
some.
sorry about that. But, okay, well, that's good. But no, in all
Cheers.
seriousness, though, I'm sure you would help people Twin Cities wide.
Absolutely.
Or, well,
Yep.
even further
No
than that,
question.
you're stretching out to central and northern Minnesota as well. So I guess before we get out of here, what other points do you want to let people know about when they're considering their homeowners insurance?
I think we touched on it quite a bit. Just to kind of summarize, make sure that coverage matters. Make sure you have good coverage. Watch out for those second deductibles. They can be slippery. You might not notice them. And make sure you get that replacement cost versus actual cash value.
And obviously, don't just get insurance to get something done.
Correct.
Because even if your plan is, okay, well, then I'll go to somebody else later, you're not going
Right.
to. Right?
Yeah,
You're just
absolutely.
going to get that binder done. You're going to live with it, and then something bad could happen there. So, all right.
One quick question. So let's say a buyer comes and contacts you. How long does it typically take for them to get their insurance binder? Is it? I get this question. They think, is it going to be weeks, months, days, hours?
Well, I mean, it really depends. I mean, I've turned them over same day, so
Okay.
that's very atypical. You shouldn't need a binder the same day. You should have
No.
some pre-planning involved, but it is possible to turn them in one day.
Okay. But sooner the better, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I promise 24 hours on a quote, but it normally doesn't take that long. If I don't have any clients calling in with emergencies or anything, I can get a quote out in an hour or two and get right back to you. So I like to keep things moving because I know how important it is for the realtor and the loan officer to get their numbers for their figures and everything. So I know the importance on keeping a new home purchase moving. So I try to turn that stuff as soon as possible.
And if someone was going to call you and say, "Hey, I want the binder," what would they need to provide you? I mean, I'm home at the address, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
These days, it's gotten so easy with, you've mentioned Zillow previously and other websites. I can get pretty much everything I need off the internet. There's a couple other sites that basically will put me right in front of the house, street views, so I can look at the condition of the roof and everything. There's a couple of pieces that normally I would need, and that's the age of the roof and age of the furnace. That's typically, I can't find that online. Other things, if you have a dangerous breed of dog, trampoline, swimming pools, we're going to want to know about that. But other than that, I can find everything online.
okay.
1,000 feet from a fire hydrant, too, right?
That's a good one.
Got to get the tape measure off of that. All right, and I guess I already said before we let you go, but before we let you go for the second time, we talked mostly about homeowners insurance, but let us know what other products you offer.
Well, the homeowners insurance, auto insurance, umbrellas. I touch a little bit on commercial. We can do any toys, snowmobiles, boats, things like that. I am licensed in life insurance and other financial products. So if there's a need there, we can find solutions there too.
Okay, and life insurance, another good way to protect your home.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as well. So, all right, well, Kevin, we appreciate it. Again, one more time, your website.
The website is kevincoxagency.com. You find me email kevin@kevincoxagency.com and phone number 612-568-3770.
Okay, and obviously if people are live right now, may not be able to catch all this stuff, but the videos live on Facebook after this. We'll also, again, have it uploaded later to YouTube and another edited version back on Facebook as well by the end of the week, sometimes, give or take. And then we'll have audio as well on SoundCloud, so plenty of other places that people can find that information. And we'll have a pretty graphic across the screen that'll have your contact information on it as well, Kevin, so people will be able to find you. And then our website, TwinCitiesRealEstatePros.com, will have a compilation of all those media sources there for you with all of Kevin's information as well as our information on our pre-lists and things like that. And do you want to go ahead and talk about the tickets?
Yeah. So are we thinking about doing? So what we're looking at, we've got 2 Gopher hockey tickets against Iowa State, and they're not
Ohio State.
Ohio State,
They
sorry.
have a hockey
That'd be a
program?
Yeah. It's against our tennis team. It's weird.
They have an intramural squad.
Yeah, Ohio State, pardon me. And it's for Saturday, December 3rd, and it's got amazing seats. They're actually going to be, and I'll bring it up so you can see where they're at, almost center ice, 3rd row. So beautiful seats. And what we're going to be doing is, not this podcast, but the next podcast, we're going to have is we want you to like it, share it, and once you do that, you'll get in a drawing for these tickets for free.
Perfect.
And we'll run more, advertisement, and we'll let you know kind of what's going on. But again, tickets are for December 3rd, Saturday, Gophers versus Ohio State, and your third row off the ice. So beautiful tickets.
Okay, and that's December 3rd, and it's a night game? Did you say that already?
I didn't say it. Doesn't say on here.
All right, we'll figure it out. You can,
I'm guessing it's probably night.
It's on the internet.
Yeah,
You can find that there. So if you like our, go to our Facebook page, Imperial Home Team, like it, and then once you find the podcast, share that, and then we'll put you in a drawing, and then hopefully the friends that you share it with, like if you like our page, but your friend doesn't, or your wife doesn't, or whoever, have them also like it and share it, and then that'll increase your opportunities there. So check us out there on Imperial Home Team's page on Facebook.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
And it's on Fox Sports North, so you may even be on TV.
There
Since
you
you're third seat off the ice. Whew.
Perfect. Okay,
Yep.
so 7 o'clock, December 3rd, free Gopher hockey tickets against Ohio State. And then a Subway coupon on the back, too, which is...
Yeah, buy one, get one 6-inch.
That's a huge... So if you don't like hockey, but you like sandwiches...
It's a win-win.
Yeah, you're going to be good
How
there.
can you lose?
You can't.
All right. Perfect. Okay, so I got nothing else. You got anything else?
One more thing. I know, I'm just fountain of knowledge today. Home buyer seminar. It's on the books for November 14th. Downtown Lakeville again. It's a Monday, 6 to 7. It's free. We'll be drawing for another 40-inch LED TV. Last month's winner was Tori Addison. She's very happy with her TV. So again, November 14th, 6 p.m. downtown Lakeville, at the Lakeville Arts Center, and we'll have the information on our video. It's free for any home buyer. If you bought one house or 1 million homes, it's great information, and you can get a chance to win a TV.
Okay.
And we actually give it away that day.
Yeah, and you can see a picture of Tori, our last winner, on the Imperial Home Team page on Facebook as well. So
Yep,
it's
for
legit.
sure.
It's on the internet, so
Everything's on the internet.
it's true. It's true.
Yep.
Yeah, and we'll have a link too. We want you to sign up and register for it because space is limited. So we want to make sure you get in, and it'll be 7 steps to homeownership.com, but you sign up and we'll get you in there.
Yep, and we'll have, again, that information on our website, TwinCitiesRealEstatePros.com, as well as on Facebook as well. All right, so that's going to do it this week for the Twin Cities Real Estate Pros podcast. Again, we appreciate Kevin Cox coming in.
Yeah, thanks for
Kevin
having me.
Cox
I really
Agency.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Whenever you can get some gas again and down here from Coon Rapids.
Recuperate from the long drive.
Yeah, we appreciate you having us. But no, that's really good, valuable information to everybody. So hopefully that'll help some people out as they think about their home buying process. So
Absolutely.
we appreciate you doing that for us, and we appreciate everybody joining us. Again, we've got Gopher hockey tickets we'll be giving away on our next show, so stay tuned to us on any of our social media outlets, or just reach out to us, and we'll figure out how to get you hooked up with Ohio State and Minnesota at Mariucci Arena in Gopher hockey. So we'll have that for you, as well as all of our other market activity and pre-lists on the Twin Cities Real Estate Pros podcast. Again, that's David Nelson, licensed real estate agent with RE/MAX Advantage Plus. I'm Ron Johnson, licensed real estate agent with RE/MAX Advantage Plus. We appreciate you joining us, and see you next time.